What's up, game devs? After my first game, MUSHROOMHEAD, hit a roadblock due to knowledge gaps, I made a strategic decision: accelerate my learning through focused mini projects and structured courses. Speedball is my third game, and it's all about putting those hard-earned lessons into practice. Remember how my previous projects struggled with fundamental mechanics? This time, I am turning challenges into opportunities. When I encountered camera issues that initially seemed like a showstopper, I didn't get discouraged. I problem solved. The ball was moving relative to world axis in a way that made navigation feel clunky. Instead of seeing this as a failure, I transformed the bug into a deliberate design choice. By implementing a static camera, I actually created a unique gameplay style that feels intentional.
Coming from my early projects, I knew interfaces were my weak point. This time, I'm not just copying tutorials, I'm understanding the underlying mechanics. My star collection system went from basic casting to a more sophisticated implementation. Pro tip: don't just follow tutorials, understand why each component works the way it does. The portal checkpoint mechanic showcased how much I've grown. Instead of getting stuck, I collaborated with the course instructor, focused on core mechanics first, prioritized functionality over perfect design. This approach is miles ahead of how I would have handled simple challenges in MUSHROOMHEAD. A hilarious moment of growth: I missed the jumping tutorial. It was right there, but I overlooked it. Old me would have gotten frustrated. New me took a research break, consulted fellow developers. When the jump mechanic finally worked, it felt like a major victory. Unlike my previous hit or miss approach, I am now strategically building levels. Testing mechanics first, keeping promising early designs, experimenting with player challenge, carefully managing visual design. Working on my Mac revealed another growth area: cross-platform development. I'm not longer seeing technical hurdles as obstacles, but as opportunity to expand my skills. The problem was that the Spotlight was bugging the content browser. So how to fix it? I had to use different shortcut keys. Placement of the key on the keyboard is different, and I always miss the key. I always wanted to start working on my Mac, and I did it, and I still prefer my PC over the Mac, but the Mac gives me an opportunity to work on my games everywhere.
The visual improvements aren't just about looking good, they're about creating a cohesive experience. Strategic lighting effects, purposeful level design, thoughtful user experience, considerations. I was sitting at my desk late one night, eyes burning from staring at the screen too long. Just one more asset, I kept telling myself. I started browsing online for game assets that might add some flair to Speedball, found some nice ones too. But then, well, I fell asleep at my keyboard. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. Turns out, game development and sleep deprivation are best friends. Those endless loops in my code were driving me crazy. I kept getting lost in my own programming. Definitely need to learn how those for each loops really work. Programming is like a maze sometimes, and I was the confused mouse. Then came the mysterious case of the disappearing flow map. This water effect was one of my favorite visual elements. It looked so cool with its black shimmering surface. Then suddenly, without warning, it turned completely white. I spent hours trying to fix it, combing through code, checking settings, and then, as if by magic, it fixed itself. I have no idea why or how. Sometimes game development feels like dealing with ghosts in the machine. This weird bug actually pushed me back to my PC from my Mac, just so I could properly export the game. One of my best decisions was replacing the boring blue background around the levels. Instead, I surrounded the playing field with huge mirrors. It fits the game's style so much better and creates this cool, endless visual effect. I'll tackle proper 3D environments another time, one step at a time. As I reached the final stretch of the course, I wanted to add some extra features to make the game feel more complete. First up was a timer. Simple, right, wrong. For some strange reason, it refused to work correctly at first. Thanks to some advice from Pixel Helmet, I started properly documenting every function in my blueprints. Such a game changer. Being organized makes debugging so much easier. I also added a penalty system. Dying adds 10 seconds to your timer. Makes the stakes feel higher when you're playing. The level summary was another headache. It kept counting stars and time even after the level ended. I'd fix one issue and another would pop up. but persistence paid off. Finally got it working smoothly. Then came my ambitious plan, adding a leaderboard. I was looking at tutorial from Matt as planned, spent hours on it, going back and forth with different approaches. In the end though, I looked at the clock, saw it was 2 a.m. and decided, in my native language terms, the dog can screw it. Sometimes you have to know when to let go, and that's how this version of Speedball came to its final form. A journey full of errors, laughter, and so much learning. Not everything works perfectly, but what does work, works really well. That's game development in a nutshell. Each project teaches you something new, something valuable. Thanks to Speedball, I understand Unreal Engine much better now. I know my next games will be even better. Each mistake is just a stepping stone to something greater. Let's talk. How do you handle leaderboards in your games? Drop your tips in the comments. Got any tricks for flow maps? I'd love to hear them. Hit like if you've ever abandoned a feature with forget it after hours of trying. Subscribe. My next game is already in the works. Thanks for joining me on this game dev journey. See you in the next one.